right, so we have sprite artwork, but we don't have it actually doing anything yet. So let's go ahead and fix that. I'm going to go ahead and go to my asset folder, then scripts, right click, create mono behavior script. And I'm going to call this player collisions. So we're going to create a script that our player will own for how it should act based on what it hits. Now this might be better off as like a trap specific script, but for now we're going to go ahead and just have the player own this. I'm going to go select my player character, and I'm going to add component script player collisions. Now it's connected, and open that up in our editor. With our player collision script open, we now want to handle on collision enter. So under start, but above update, I'm going to do private void on trigger enter 2D. On trigger enter 2D, where we get a collider 2D and then collision. And this is to let us manage how we handle when we enter a trigger collider. So I'll say if collision dot game object dot tag is equal to trap. And then for now, we'll just do debug.log you hit a trap. This is just to test out that this is working. Now for this to work, the thing that we hit, that the player hits rather, needs to have the tag of trap. So let's go ahead and give our spike that tag. So we'll select spike and go to the top right for untagged. I'll hit add tag plus, and then we'll do trap with a capital T. Now we select our spike again and we give it that tag. Let's run the game and test and see if we are getting a debug message. And if I go to my console, I can see I hit a trap. Cool. So I now have the ability to detect that I hit a trap. Well, but what I don't have is the ability to take health away. So to fix that, I'm going to go ahead and go into my game manager script, and let's go ahead and delete update. And I'm going to make a new function called public void lose health. And this function is going to take in one value, an integer, so int, and we'll do health to lose, where we want to take away some player health. So I'll do from here, when I pass in health to lose, so how much health we should lose, we should subtract that from our current health. So I'll do player health equals player health minus health to lose. Once we've taken that health away, we need to update our health text. So I'll just copy the string from our start menu, start function, and paste it down here. This will update our health text. Now that we have the lose health function, we need to call that. When a player collision, right, when we hit a trap, instead of debug.log, instead what we'll do is, well, we want to tell the game manager to lose health. To do that, we need a connection to game manager. So I'm going to go up here. I'm going to make a variable. This is going to be a private game manager, and then it will be the manager. This private variable, instead of our start function, we'll say manager is equal to, well, how do we find the game manager? Well, the game manager is a game object. So let's try game object dot find game manager. Then we want to get the component of the script. So we'll do get component of type game manager. Now this is a longer line here, but this says, hey, Unity, find the thing called game manager. Find whatever object is in the game called game manager, which for us is, well, called game manager. So the spelling needs to match. Then we'll say, hey, get the component, get the script, game manager. And this now gives us access to be able to call this lose health function because it's public. So now inside of here, the collision.gameObject.tag, I'll say, well, if we hit that, I want to do manager.lose health. And let's say 1. We want to take away 1 health if they hit the trap. Well, we'll save that, and hopefully this all works. Press play and see. All right, I hit it and I lost 1 health. I had 3, now I have 2. 2, 1, 0, -1, -2, -3, -4. So it does work. We just don't have it doing anything when we die. I also don't really like that when I hit this trap, I want it to like knock the player back. So what we can do is in our player controller script, let's create a new function under update, but above on collision enter. Doesn't really matter as long as it's not inside of another function. We can do this kind of anywhere. So I'm going to do public void knock back parentheses, and I want it to take in 2 variables. I'll do float. Let's do how much to knock them left. So knock left, and then float knock up. So we want to basically be able to pass in how much to knock them backwards and how much to knock them up. That way they get like bounced away from the trap. So for this, all I have to do is kind of what I did for jump, actually. So I have this rb.linear velocity. So I can just copy this. I'll grab the whole line from fixed update and paste that here. So I want to change linear velocity where I want to add the amount that we want to knock left and then the amount that we want to knock up. Now we just have to call it in our player collision script. Let's go ahead and create a reference to our player controller. So I'll do public player controller. And I'll call this the player controller. And when we hit a trap and we lose health, I want to do player controller dot, let's do knockback. Let's set this to like 10F and 10F. So knock them back, knock them to the left, 10, and then knock them upwards, 10. If I go back to Unity, and before I forget, I go to my player controller, find my player collision script, and I drag player character into there. So now I have access to my player controller script. I'll press play. If I hit this, I get knocked up and I get knocked back. Or knocked, actually just upwards. So let's see why that's the case. I went ahead and adjusted my knockback value to 15 and 5. In the player controller for knock left, we need to set this to negative. Knock left. So that way it'll bump them to the left instead of the right. And it is bumping the character over to the side a little bit, but mostly up, right? Next thing we need to do is take our spike and need to modify it. So the collider is too big. It should be the size of the spikes. So I'm going to go ahead and change the size along Y. I'm going to bring that down and change the offset on the Y to bring that down as well. That way there's a little bit of wiggle room. I'm going to change the size in X to be smaller as well. This is just to make it more fair to the player. So yeah, let's do offset of X 0, Y negative 0.2, size 0.9 on X by 0.6. That way you don't accidentally clip it without realizing it. And we have the spike just in one location. We want more of these spikes. So I'm going to, in my asset folder, I'm going to right click, create folder, and I'll call this prefabs. Open that up. I'll take my spikes and create a prefab by dragging that into this folder. So I now have the ability to just create more spikes at different locations, which is pretty nice. don't have the ability to die yet, but I have those spikes. I'm going to get rid of these extra ones. I'm just going to leave the one over here and move this over a bit, just for testing purposes. Now your challenge is, I want you to create a health pickup item. We're going to follow basically the same procedure as you did for the spikes, except instead of creating a lose health script, you're going to have one for gain health. It'll be doing pretty much the same thing. Your collision, you're going to have it detect a trigger, but instead of trap, have it be, I don't know, health pickup. And then instead of knocking back, we want to gain health, and then we just destroy the health pickup. I'll show you how to do that, but try and do that yourself now. And then afterwards, I'll show you the answer. All right, so for this item, I'm going to go ahead and use the heart that is in the files that I have here. However, you should use and import your artwork that you created. So you can just download the image and upload it by dragging it into the folder here. But again, I'm going to use one that's already here that I can just work with. So I'm going to take my artwork and drag that into my scene, and I'll name this to be health pickup. Now I know I'm going to need to set the tag, so I'm going to go ahead and add tag, and I'm going to give it health pickup tag. Then I'll go into let's start with the game manager script. I'm going to copy this function here, and I'm going to paste it below. So lose health, it'll be gain health. And then we'll do health to gain. And then I'll add in health to gain. Instead of subtracting, I'll add it instead. Then player collision, on trigger enter 2D, where I have trap. I'm going to copy this whole thing and paste below, where if I hit a health pickup, I want to game manager, I'm going to call gain health. I'm going to get 1 health when I hit that. And go back to Unity, let that load. Health pickup, I'm going to add component, physics 2D, and I'll add in the box collider 2D. Actually, you know what? Box collider works, but I'm going to add in a circle collider instead. It's round. And I'll set this to be a trigger. So after all that, if I run into it, it should just give me health. So I hit it, and now I have 4 health. Now I forgot to delete something in my code. I don't want it to knock me back. I just want it to get deleted. So for the health pickup, instead of knock back, I'm going to do destroy. So I do destroy, then I'm going to get the collision dot game object. So this will destroy the health pickup. It'll make it go away. Now we can add an animation, do some other stuff there later. For now, I just wanted to get it up and working. So if I hit the heart, jump into it, it goes away, and I now have 4 health. So there we go. We have basic health items. So we can lose health, and then you can get it back. There's actually one thing I forgot to do here. I'm going to make my health pickup a prefab. That way I can put more into my game. Last kind of step there. Thanks.